This is a short presentation about my exploratory study or pilot study called Visual Cues as a Steering Mechanism. So, visual cues are video game design patterns that through visual elements present information to the player. If we look at like older games, such as the old Pokemon games, they use a lot of text-based ways to give information to the player. Let's say you as a player walk into a building, and then you get a text pop up that says maybe, "That door over there looks suspicious, you should probably check it out." That wouldn't be very unusual. But in modern game design we have more elegant solutions than this, and one of them is visual cues, which is providing information to the player purely through visual elements in the environment. So, this study in particular aims to identify elements of the visual design of pathway entrances that has the most impact on players' pathing decisions in competitive FPS games. That's a bit of a mouthful, but simply put, I want to see if you have two pathway entrances, or archways or doors or whatever you want to call it, the beginning of a path. And if you can you design them visually different in order to make players pick one more often than the other. So to find an answer, visual cues from previous research were tested through pairwise comparison. So I looked at some previous research and picked some visual cues that they have tried and found to be successful, and then I put these through pairwise comparison, which is basically participants get to see two different designs, and with the context of the prompt they pick their favorite, then they get two more, pick their favorite, get two more, pick their favorite, and then when you have a lot of participants who answer a lot of questions, at the end you have like a ranking of the score of every single design based on their win ratio in these matchups. So pairwise participants ranked sketches featuring different combinations of the visual cues. So these visual cues that were gathered, I combined these in different ways to create multiple different designs, and these were the designs that were tested. So let's go into the visual cues that were tested. These were the height of the entrance, the width of the entrance, if it went straight or went up stairs, if it was a waypoint somewhere, and like this house over here that maybe gives a clue to where this path is going. An obstruction in front of the path, a trail leading towards the pathway, or an out-of-place object, which may be a little bit hard to see here, but I decided to choose to just put a little teddy bear laying in the path as an out-of-place object. So these were combined to create 32 design alternatives. If you do the math, you can probably see that, hey, there are 7 design or visual cues here. If you make every single possible combination, that would be 128, but I thought that was a bit too much. I actually narrowed this down and made 32 designs where every single visual cue is present in half of them and they're evenly divided. You can read more about this in the paper at the end. So the results were, as we see here, the least picked design out of all of them only won 7% of its matchups, which was this one, which features a narrow and short door, it's obstructed by the bush, and it leads upstairs. And that was only picked 7% of the time. On the contrary, the most picked of all of these 32 designs were this design, which was picked 89% of its matchups, which featured a wide, notably though, not a high, still a short door. It features a trail going to it, it features the waypoint and the out-of-place object. So, but looking at what design was picked the most isn't very interesting. I want to know which of the visual cues was the most effective. So in order to do this, for example, to find out the score of the height of the door, I took all the designs where the visual cue height was present and averaged all the scores of those designs. And in the end, I got this graph down here. So this is the pick percentage when a design pattern was present. So as we can see, only one of the visual cues scored negatively, which was obstruction. When a design featured the obstruction visual cue, it only got picked 38.3% of the time, meaning that players avoided these designs. Then we have the 4 designs in the middle here, which I say are too close to 50% to do like any conclusions. So I said these 4, which is the stairs, the out-of-place object, the height of the door, and the waypoint, are so close to 50%, basically they have no impact. Then we have the 2 that had a positive impact on the designs, which is the width of the door and a trail leading towards the door. So these, if a design had the width visual cue present, it was picked 60.8% of the time. If it had a trail visual cue present, it was picked 63 0.9% of the time. So my conclusion from this study was wider entrances with trails made participants pick them more often, obstructions made them pick them less often. But can you really draw the conclusion is my question here. Like, we have to acknowledge that this is not, the participants are, even though I had 9 participants who answered over 1,100 matchups, which is good data, like they didn't actually play the game. They answered hypothetical questions based on like vector graphics. So like, if we actually put these players or these participants as players in a game where they have a lot more context, like maybe they know the map already, maybe they know where the enemies are and they base their pathing decisions on that, like there's a lot more to think about. If we actually did it for real, would this result still be the same? Maybe not, but maybe there is. Like, this study doesn't prove this conclusion to be true, but I think it does, it fills its purpose as a pilot study. It shows there's something interesting to be found here, and I think warrants like a further study in the future.